Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholes. Today we have another English folktale, but this has me thinking, honestly, about America. And it might just be because it's been on my mind lately, but there's a problem, I'll say, in the United States with this idea of the hero and the hero's journey being undertaken by one solitary person, usually a man, and not requiring any help. And that's just not the case elsewhere. And there's no better way to see that than in this English folktale of how Jack went to seek his fortune, which is, at its heart, the Bremen Town Musicians, just with a person. This is How Jack Went to Seek His Fortune. Once on a time there was a boy named Jack, and one morning he started to go and seek his fortune. He hadn't gone very far before he met a cat. "Where are you going, Jack?" said the cat. "I am going to seek my fortune." "May I go with you?" "Yes," said Jack. "The more the merrier." So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggledy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a dog. "Where are you going, Jack?" said the dog. "I'm going to seek my fortune." "May I go with you?" "Yes," said Jack. "The more the merrier." So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggledy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a goat. "Where are you going, Jack?" said the goat. "I'm going to seek my fortune." "May I go with you?" "Yes," said Jack. "The more the merrier." So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggledy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a bull. "Where are you going, Jack?" said the bull. "I'm going to seek my fortune." "May I go with you?" "Yes," said Jack. "The more the merrier." So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggledy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a rooster. "Where are you going, Jack?" said the rooster. "I'm going to seek my fortune." "May I go with you?" "Yes," said Jack. "The more the merrier." So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggledy-jolt. Well, they went on till it was about dark, and they began to think of some place where they could spend the night. About this time they came in sight of a house, and Jack told them to keep still while he went up and looked in through the window. And there were some robbers counting over their money. Then Jack went back and told them to wait till he gave the word, and then to make all the noise they could. So when they were all ready, Jack gave the word, and the cat meowed, the dog barked, the goat bleated, the bull bellowed, and the rooster crowed. And all together they made such a dreadful noise that it frightened the robbers all away. And then they went in and took possession of the house. Jack was afraid the robbers would come back in the night, and so when it came time to go to bed, he put the cat in the rocking chair, and he put the dog under the table, and he put the goat upstairs, and he put the bull down in the cellar, and the rooster flew up onto the roof, and Jack went to bed. By and by, the robbers saw it was all dark, and they sent one man back to the house to look after their money. Before long he came back in a great fright and told them his story. "I went back to the house," said he, "and went in and tried to sit down in the rocking chair, and there was an old woman knitting, and she stuck her knitting needles into me. That was the cat, you know. I went to the table to look after the money, and there was a shoemaker under the table, and he stuck his awl into me. That was the dog, you know. I started to go upstairs, and there was a man up there threshing, and he knocked me down with his flail. That was the goat. I started to go down into the cellar, and there was a man down there chopping wood, and he knocked me up with his axe. That was the bull. But I shouldn't have minded all that if it hadn't been for that little fellow on top of the house who kept on hollering, "Chuck 'em up to me! Chuck 'em up to me!" Of course, that was the cock-a-doodle-doo. That is Joseph Jacobs's How Jack Went to Seek His Fortune. And you see, it is very much a Bremen Town Musicians tale, just with more people, in this case Jack. And it really does hammer home this difference. Jack is the hero, but he can't get anything done without his friends that he meets along the way. This is Dan Scholes for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget that if you'd like to help support the podcast, you can always head over to patreon.com/folktaleproject, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to every story told. As always, thank you so much for listening.